NASA getting on board with their Rothschild. And believe it or not, I had all of these stories open and put to my space, and now Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, she was actually a major fundraiser for Hillary Clinton, and then was a major backer of John McCain. She comes out and is now set up to be discussing the innovations of space and contact with extraterrestrials. So NASA scientists to speak about extraterrestrial life. Dr. Lynn Rothschild, NASA scientist, will present innovations in space discovery. Is there life out there? That'll be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Living Legends Conference. The lecture is open to many distinguished speakers, and Rothschild is an evolutionary biologist, astrobiologist at NASA Ames Research Center, and a professor at Stanford and Brown University. Now, Stanford and the SRI, they've been popping up again and again in the contacts with extra-dimensional beings, or the what is known as the Ennead, the Nine. And now we have this NASA connection with a Rothschild, making her way into the ET conference. So she is one of the scientists who started the shift of emphasis away from just looking for radio signals from intelligent beings. As a biologist, she has led the community of astrobiologists into exploring other questions, like what are the habitat limits of life? Now, we're finding life all over the universe. We're finding it, well, all over the planet, under ice, under miles of ice, deep down in the ocean. We can find that life can exist in nearly any environment. So what is the most acid, hottest temperature, coldest temperature, driest, least oxygen, most pressure that bacterial cells can stand? We find that this goes deep, deep down, and that we can find life in almost every environment. So it was assumed that the cosmos is brimming with civilizations that would be broadcasting radio signals. We, meaning the humans of planet Earth, have been broadcasting radio signals all over the place. I'm hoping ET picks up this show. I hope they're out there listening. So it is now an interdisciplinary science, the goal of learning about the origins of life and what the conditions that promote it. So NASA on the same end as the Vatican's ET conference, which has just come out and are about to release their results, and hopefully we can watch all of this and catch up on all of the things that are being put out and promoted through the Rothschild, UN, Vatican Information Center, right? Because that's where all of this is coming from. Royal Society, UN, Vatican. And we have to start to wonder why they want to promote this idea of ET. What would it do if ET showed up on the White House lawn? What would your reaction be? We'll be back in a minute. Some people look at this alien image as if we're dealing with the dimensional shift. The question often comes, are the aliens material or extra-dimensional? We have enough evidence to suggest both. We have enough evidence to wonder. We don't know whether aliens exist at all, but we see a lot of evidence to suggest this is the case. As we start to look into the spectrum of life on planet Earth, we find that we have these occult leaders in the UN, in the Vatican, in the White House, that are practicing occult rituals that I can determine to be extraterrestrial in origin. Now, is it possible that these priestcraft, such as the Freemasons, the Jesuits, the Zionists, actually have an extraterrestrial bent to them? Now, we can look clearly at the connections between Masonry and Mormonism and see that Joseph Smith had absolutely adopted the Masonic rites and rituals, even to the point where he disclosed that he had brought the brilliancy back to the Freemasonic rituals, that the true purpose and meaning of these rituals had been lost. And he was contacted by an call it angelic being, Moroni, an ET, an extra-dimensional being, to give him the story of life of planet Earth and give him the proper meanings of the rituals that the Freemasons were performing. When we look to this story and we find that the Mormons themselves have an extraterrestrial creation myth coming from the planet Kolob, where God lives, and bringing this to planet Earth, we have more to this puzzle than we can imagine. Now we have the story of the Ennead, the 9, that are channeled by the elite of the world. And we have the concept of an agenda that seems to be unfolding over millennia. We have tales of extraterrestrials going back to the 14th century and beyond. We have cave paintings of aliens and alien craft. Now, one person, Anthony Kane, is a black American who is a relative of Dr. Martin Luther King. He was a former recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, just like our president. And he was reported a continuing contactee of a representative of an apparent extraterrestrial hyperdimensional governance authority known as the Council of 12. He delivered a number of specific datelines and predicted developments concerning a dimensional shift which Earth and human consciousness is now undergoing in relationship with the year of 2012. It's believed by Mr. Kane that the dates from December 12th, 2012 to December 21st, 2012 will bring about a split in the dimensional frequencies of planet Earth. That humans with a consciousness anchored in fear will remain in the third dimension, while individuals who are experiencing this consciousness awakening will be putting into another dimension.